Well, hello. Here we are back in lockdown again. So I guess you all need a bit of cheering up. This time I've got a little story, once again from my good friend Trevor Hill, who's kindly sent it to me, so thank you, Trevor. It's all about a farmer who gets a knock on the door one day, and there's a tired old gypsy standing there, looking worn out and hungry. And he says to the farmer, "Could I please sleep in your barn overnight? It's horrible weather out here, and in return, I'll do some work for you tomorrow." The farmer's very kind, and he won't hear anything of the old boy sleeping in the barn. He insists that he comes into the house and has dinner with them that evening. The gypsy's very grateful and insists on doing some work the next day, but the farmer won't hear anything of it. And after a good night's sleep, they're determined to give him a nice breakfast before he goes on his way the next morning. Once again, the gypsy's overwhelmed with the generosity and says, "I must do something in return." He says, "Like many Romany people, I'm an animal whisperer. And if you'll let me talk to your animals, I may be able to give you some good advice." "Well, okay," says the farmer, "if you think that's what you can do, by all means." So the gypsy goes off out into the fields around the farm, and after an hour or two, he comes back. And he says to the farmer, "Well," he says, "I've been talking to your cows, and they're not happy with the new milking regime at all. The machine that you use, you previously had set on 28 pulses, but you've increased the speed to 36, and they're finding that quite painful, very uncomfortable." "God," says the farmer, "that's amazing. Yes, I have recently increased the pulse rate." He said, I'll put it back to the old pulse immediately." And the gypsy says, "I also been speaking to your horse. The horse enjoys going out riding with you, but you've recently put a new bit into his mouth and he's finding it very uncomfortable. He'd like to have the old one back, which wasn't painful at all." Wow! The farmer's totally gobsmacked. "I have changed a bit recently. I'll put the old one back in at once. I've still got it." And the gypsy says, and finally he says, "I've been speaking to your sheep." "Ah, no, they're all liars. Don't believe a word they say."